Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Career Therapy live stream. We have an interesting article that was sent over today by one of my clients, Julia. Julia, thanks for sending over this article. It is on resume scanning and it's from the Wall Street Journal. And it talks about it asks the question, why are companies rejecting millions of people if they have all these open roles and they need to fill them? So we're going to read through this article, react to it a little bit, maybe discuss some things to keep in mind around ATS systems, writing your resume, putting it out there and getting these jobs. All right. So a lot of things to discuss here. Let's get into it.
I'm too old for this. Been around this, broken down for way too long. Left my home for this. Story-eyed, it's no surprise. Things went wrong. What was I thinking, babe? All the mistakes I made.
All right, everyone. How is it going? For those who don't know, my name is Martin McGovern, founder of Career Therapy. Started my career out in marketing before moving into career coaching and education. And there's a lot going on in the career space. A lot of people trying to get jobs, a lot of companies trying to hire people for jobs. And somehow it's all just missing out. What we do here is we take a look at articles and see what is going on in the the consciousness around career, see what we can do to better improve our odds of getting jobs. Hopefully this isn't too choppy. Seems like we've got some internet issues today, but we'll share the article here and jump right in. So if companies need more workers, why do they reject millions of resumes? This is the question that Catherine Dill is asking on the Wall Street Journal. Automated hiring systems are excluding many people from job discussions at a time when additional employees are desperately needed. Companies are desperate to hire, and yet some workers still can't seem to find jobs. Here may be one reason why. The software that sorts through the applicants deletes millions of people from consideration. So if you don't know what this software is, it's the ATS, Applicant Tracking Software. And employers today rely on increasing levels of automation to fill vacancies efficiently because it's just too overwhelming to put up a job listing and get all these resumes thrown at you. Deploying software to do everything from sourcing candidates to managing the application process to scheduling interviews to performing background checks. These systems do the job they are supposed to do. They also exclude more than 10 million workers from hiring discussions, according to a new Harvard Business School study released on Saturday. The question becomes, why? Why is it screening those people, and how do you prevent yourself from being screened, right? Job prospects get tripped up by everything from brief resume gaps to a ballooning job description from employers that lessen the chance that they will measure up. So let's break this down. Resume gaps. If you have a resume gap in your resume, what do you do about it? There's a number of things you can do. You can bolster it with education, volunteering. You can join professional organizations. You can start your own meetup. You can create a freelancing business for yourself or a brand. There's so many things you can do to kind of cover these gaps. And if you're struggling with it, reach out, let me know. We can talk through it. But you need to address the things that they're concerned about, because companies aren't hiring from a place of prosperity. They're hiring from a place of risk and fear and panic, because usually things are going wrong. Maybe they have too many customers, which is a good problem to have, but it's an overwhelming situation. Maybe they are losing business, and that's a bad problem to have, and they are in a panic mode, right? So we need to be making sure that what we put out there is addressing their concerns, right? They're not sitting here on a mountaintop giving out jobs to people. What they're doing is they're saying, we need help, please help us. So anything you can do to make them feel more confident will improve your job search opportunities. Lead Harvard researcher Joseph Fuller cited examples of hospitals scanning resumes. Here comes the sneeze. I can't believe I've been talking into a mute microphone this whole time. Jeez, amateur. Amateur hour. All right. So thank you, Devon. Uh, Joseph Fuller cited examples of hospitals scanning resumes of registered nurses for computer programming when all they need is someone who can enter patient data into a computer. Power companies, he said, scan for customers when they're hiring people to repair electric transmission lines, and some retail clerks won't make it past the hiring system if they don't have buffing experience. The reliance on automation filters for big sections of the population is kicking them out, and they're losing access to candidates. I mean, this is just such a bummer. Obviously, this is 12 pages long. We're not going to go through everything here, but what we're seeing is that these companies are implementing these softwares in order to improve their systems. The problem is that they don't know how to use these softwares effectively, or they're putting in their ideal candidates and they're losing all these amazing people that could be good for the role. And again, this is one of those classic situations where people are screening out good candidates because of ideal hopes, because of too high of expectations of what someone should be able to do in this role. Well, if we could get someone who could do X, Y, and Z and 1,000 other things, why wouldn't we try? Well, the reason you wouldn't try sometimes is because you're wasting time. You're looking at the wrong criteria. This isn't necessary for the role. But once it's in the ATS system, it's law, it's God. It will eliminate options and it will tell you who's best. And honestly, taken a look at these ATS systems, they're not always that great. They give you people and you're like, how did it make this decision? But it's hard to kind of combat it when it ranks people as good, medium, and bad for a role. Like, how do you mentally look at a list that is already ranked red, yellow, and green and say, actually, I'm going to talk to one of these people that's marked as red? It's going to be hard to mentally overcome that when you're an HR person who's already a bit overwhelmed with everything going on in your day. Harvard's findings resulted from a survey of companies and workers conducted by the business school and worked for Accenture, the future of work. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. Many company leaders, nearly 9 out of 10 executives surveyed by Harvard, said that they know the software they use to filter applicants prevents them from seeing good candidates. Firms such as Amazon.com, International Business Machines Corp, IBM, come on, who actually writes it out, said that they are studying these tools as well as other hiring methods to understand why they can't find the workers they need. Some said the technology can be changed to serve for the better, while others are turning to less automated methods to find the right people. How funny is that? We go through this whole process of implementing these automated systems, implemented by people who didn't have to go through the automated process to get the job. Isn't that funny? So I go through a normal hiring process. I get hired. Then I say, hey, we should put in this automated system. And then everyone after me gets screwed over. And then it doesn't even work. And they end up going back to what they used to do anyway. We're going to see this happen with face scanning technologies that are scanning for your honesty and trying to predict whether or not you're being fake or authentic in your excitement for the role. These are terrible ideas. We got to stop monitoring everything, and we've got to stop trying to automate everything. Sure, sometimes it can be helpful, but sometimes a little bit of manual labor gets you a better candidate, and these companies should know that a little bit. The typical recruitment strategies we use weren't meeting the hiring demand. So they rely on software to help with hiring. And this goes all the way back to the 90s, of course. The biggest problem, I think, is not necessarily even the ATS systems, but like personality tests and all these other things, the 10 interviews that we put people through, the take-home assignments, you're basically making someone work a part-time job on top of their job or their job search while also talking to other companies. It's a little bit innate. And is it actually getting better candidates? Is it getting anyone better candidates? Not from what I'm hearing. From what I'm hearing, the way most companies still get the best candidates is by saying, who knows someone who can work here, and getting referrals from their employees. All of this automated stuff, the LinkedIns, the job boards, it's not even serving up the best candidates half the time. And it's really just overwhelming these HR teams who don't even know what to do. So there's got to be better ways to do this. There's just got to be. So the e-applicants were supposed to democratize the search process by giving more people a chance, but they also created a tsunami of applications that overwhelm companies, right? This is what we're talking about here. The algorithms created to help with this process, known as applicant tracking systems, filtered tons of prospects down to a select group. Several companies make the talent sifting software, and one of the biggest providers is Oracle Corp. With its Taleo system, such systems, Harvard said, are now employed by 99% of Fortune 500 companies and 75% of U.S. employers. Harvard says in its study, Oracle declined to comment. The truth of the matter is, like, any change that these companies makes affects everyone. It's kind of crazy. So we have to keep realizing that, like, oh, wow. At the end of the day, as a job seeker, do I want to be fighting these systems? Do I want to be trying to game the ATS? Do I want to be trying to hack all these different things? Or is it actually, if I really sit down and think about it, easier to just go network with people and try and get in through one of those systems, right? Go talk to real people. Ask if they need help with anything. Help them with those things. Get a job that way. Seems to be the best way to do it. And all of this stuff just becomes noise at a certain point when you're doing networking right. Unemployment job seekers per job opening. Man, these charts are wild. It eliminates gaps in employment, so you got to make sure that you don't have a gap. So how do we rethink hiring? Companies said that they are eliminating candidates that they want to hire. Of those Harvard surveyed, 90% believed high-skilled prospects are being out because they didn't meet all the criteria listed in the job description. Do you need 3 years of experience for an entry-level job? Maybe you're making ridiculous hiring criteria. Some are making changes. One company said that it made a point to go after these deleted workers. IBM, which received 3 million applicants. But also look at that, 3 million applicants at one company. Could you imagine trying to sort through all that? Whenever you're getting upset with a recruiter, just remember 3 million applications. It decided to rethink how it evaluates these people several years ago when it had trouble filling cybersecurity and software development positions. Company eliminated college degree requirements. That's good. For half of its roles, and rewrote job descriptions to better capture the role's true needs. Since then, IBM has seen a 63% increase in underrepresented communities, right? So all of this stuff was built to make things more equitable. But then you put in all the criteria and you say, we need someone that went to Harvard, and all of a sudden it cuts out all of the people that you're trying to hire anyway, right? Because you're still just going with privileged classes. Strategically, our point of view was, if you have the skills, why does it matter how you got them? Gosh, if only every company could think that way. Amazon is creating new programs. Geez, the hiring process is just a mess. All right. It is just a mess. And so, as we're going through this, we've got to really think about how to manage these different things that we are seeing in the job search. So, what do you think is disqualifying you from getting the job? Years of experience, employment gaps, academic performance, credentials, career progression skills. Man, I got some allergies today. I can't even talk. So most people end up feeling like they don't stack up. Some workers are changing their tactics. Those who are not getting any traction with online job postings are turning to old-fashioned ways of finding work through friends and family. And I want to just call out here, and we'll stop at this point, but that is not the old-fashioned way. That is the always way. The always way. The way jobs have always been found and always will be found. The mass majority of roles will always be found through personal connections because that's how companies hire. They say, hey, who in the company knows how to do this thing and can do it? And they're going to start there because that costs no money. Add more responsibility to someone's plate, best way to go. Second, no one has any, bandwidth for it. All right, who in our company knows someone who can do this? It's going to be the least risky because if you already are working with a person and they vouch for the person, it's probably going to be a decent hire. I mean, who knows? But it's definitely better than random person on the internet, right? So then after that, they go to recruiters and the internet. So we have to keep remembering that it's not an old-fashioned way of getting a job. As a matter of fact, online applications was a very short period where it was even effective. It was like when only a few people were on LinkedIn and they were eating up all the jobs. Now that everyone's on LinkedIn, it's basically just a dating app. It's just thousands and thousands of people. It's like, it's overwhelming for anyone to use. And if you ever hear interviews with women who use dating apps, they're like, geez, you open that thing and it's like, close that thing. It's just too much going on, right? So the same with these jobs, right? You've got a company posting an entry-level role, getting thousands and thousands of applications. Do you actually expect someone to be able to go through and read all of those and like actually filter through it? I remember when we were doing recruiting in my first job and we would go to hiring various colleges and collect all the resumes. We'd come back to the office with hundreds of resumes stacked high and we would give them all out to each other, 10 or 12 of us sitting at our desks going through resumes. And each of us had our own criteria of what we were looking for. Some person's like, oh, there's a misspelling, F this person. Another person's like, I don't like how this is formatted. And they throw it over here. And everyone's just doing that. It's so subjective and it's ridiculous. And there's little notes that are like, oh, I like this person. They made a good point in our conversation. It's just, the whole thing's so messy. So try and save yourself a lot of headaches by learning how to network and communicate well so you can find jobs without all of this BS. That's the goal. All right. So ATS systems are annoying. We'll talk about them a lot more in future videos. But I'm curious, what you think. Have you gone through the ATS system? Have you beaten the ATS system? Have you been on the other side of an ATS system? What have your experiences been like? And what do you think companies should be doing? How do you think they should be handling it? Because I don't think they have the bandwidth to even figure it out. All right. So good luck in your search. Reach out if you need anything. I hope you like these videos and subscribe to YouTube and wherever else you're watching. We'll be doing more of these. And apparently I've got to stop talking because my allergies are killing me. I will see you all on the next one and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Cheers.
I'm too old for this. Been around this, broken down for way too long. Left my home for this. Story-eyed, it's no surprise. Things went wrong. What was I thinking, babe? All the mistakes I made.